Lamar Jackson is not practicing for a second straight day, and conveniently, there is a hit piece getting a lot of attention floating around saying that Lamar is the issue and that the Ravens need to move on in this offseason. So we're going to address that. We also hear from John Harbaugh, who speaks on this article. We'll talk a little bit about the Packers matchup. Jordan Love is still in the concussion protocol. Malik Willis is not practicing today. And we hear from Tyler Huntley on being ready to go in a must-win game this Saturday. All that and more in today's episode of the Flock Rundown.
Ravens Flock. The Flock Rundown is the place to be.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.
What's up, Ravens fans? My name is Ryan. Welcome into another episode of the Flock Rundown. Merry Christmas. I know it's been a lot of negativity floating out there with the Ravens, but I love y'all. I hope you guys have an amazing holiday. I probably will not be making a video tomorrow. I gotta take Christmas off and spend some time with the loved ones, man. But I hope you guys are doing the same, and I wish you all a Merry Christmas. I will be back on Friday and Saturday talking about the game and everything, but just wanted to wish you guys a Merry Christmas. Thank you guys for always showing love on this channel, supporting, liking, commenting, the members, man, everybody. You guys have ran this channel up this year. You guys have shown me so much love and really motivated me to grind this every single day to this level, man. I'm competitive with myself and want to be there, but the fact that you guys get some kind of value out of this channel inspires me to kick it into overdrive and really deliver you the best content I possibly can in this moment, and hopefully over years that just continues to grow and build. So thank you guys, Merry Christmas, and let's hop into today's news. So Lamar Jackson was the only Raven not at practice. Not a great sign for his availability this Saturday. Obviously, he has missed back-to-back practices this week. John Harbaugh spoke to the media today and said that Lamar would be able to go even without practicing this week if he is feeling good enough on Saturday.
No, it's undetermined right now. Non-participation today, was not able to practice, but he could play, without that practice for sure. He's practiced, played a lot of football, won a lot of games for us. If he's ready to go, he will go. If he can go, he will go. You can bet on that. So
you said it was undetermined right now with him?
Yeah, day to day, couldn't practice today. So we'll see where it's at tomorrow and as we go forward.
Could you, kind of explain, to the layman, what the consequences are of a contusion? I think people heard you say bruise, and they're like, why can't he play through that? But obviously, you see NBA players miss a week, 2 weeks with these contusions.
Oh, yeah. I guess it's not like a black and blue mark, These are deep tissue contusions. I'm not a medical guy, but I did see the MRI. It's legitimate, very painful. It tends to muscles lock up around it. You can't really move very well. He's in that process now of loosening all that up, hopefully, and you can't really say when it's going to be right. He's got to be able to play. He's got to be able to be an athlete, be able to move. And so when a contusion, that word, that type of damage to the tissue happens, then you have to be able to play. You have to be able to be an athlete. You have to be able to move around and do your thing. So that's what you're working back towards with all the treatment and everything.
And speaking of Lamar Jackson, there is an article/hit piece, in my opinion, that is getting quite a bit of buzz online today. John Harbaugh was even asked about it in his press conference, and it's written by Mike Preston. We've seen this before, but he is saying that Lamar Jackson is the issue. If you read this article, and I'm not even suggesting that you read it, I'm really not trying to bring attention to this source that is putting this out, but I also want to dead narratives like this. But this article is saying that Lamar Jackson is not working hard, essentially, and that the Ravens should look into trading him this offseason. He said that Lamar Jackson is falling asleep in meetings. He's staying up all night playing video games. The Ravens changed their practice schedule to the afternoon because of Lamar Jackson, and that there is a big disconnect. And if anybody like Harbaugh says something to Lamar Jackson about it, he shuts down and is hard to deal with. That is what this article is saying. This article is then saying that the Ravens need to think about trading Lamar Jackson. It mentions the Miami Dolphins for 2 or 3 first-round picks. And then you got a guy like Nick Wright who's sharing this as well and saying, Thank you for putting it in print, what I've been alluding to all year. There is obviously a disconnect between Lamar and Harbaugh, and the Ravens correctly feel that Lamar has growing up up to do. I've said this many times if you've been following this channel over the years, but attention pays. There is motive behind what people are saying and what stories they are pushing. You know, every click, every view is money, and they want your attention. So they're going to push boundaries. They're going to be negative, especially in convenient moments. And that's what raises my alarm bells with this entire situation is not only did you hear none of this when Lamar Jackson was having success, literally none of it. Lamar Jackson's not falling asleep in meetings. He's the MVP of the league. You know, he's wrecking everybody and he is elevating his game year after year. You will never see a hit piece like this. But now Lamar Jackson is having injuries and the Ravens aren't having the best season. So all of a sudden, it's, oh, well, Lamar's been falling asleep in meetings and he's a hard person to tell something to. You know, if you get critical to Lamar, he kind of just shuts down. And I just don't think that any of this has validity. Harbaugh was asked about this directly today, and he also denied it.
I don't like asking about other people's reporting, but Preston wrote a column this week that's kind of reaching critical mass right now online. Just said that Lamar has slept through meetings and that you've grown tired of him. Just want to kind of give you the opportunity to just comment on that.
Well, I think I said earlier in the season, don't take too much credence in anonymous type sources. So I don't know where that's coming from. I've never seen that ever. You know, that's not something that I've ever witnessed, and I'm in every meeting. So and to speculate on how I feel about it, I'll tell you how I feel. You know, I'm pretty transparent. I think all the guys in the building will tell you. You know, if I have something, conversation, something that I want to talk to them about, I'm right up front. So that would be wrong to say that. That's not true. Had a great conversation with Lamar this morning about a few things and football and how he's feeling, things like that. So our relationship is A+. So I love him, always have, always will. And I know he's fighting like crazy to get back. So anonymous reports or things that get said or written or whatever, I don't really I don't need anybody speaking for me, so just ask me and I'll tell you what I think.
Coming across an article like this in the algorithm, especially if you're on X, is inevitable, right? Like, it's hard. We live in a day and age where things are just popping up. You tune into what you want to sometimes, but also things are kind of shoved down our throats. It's just the way these algorithms are working and the way media is consumed nowadays. So it's hard to not come across it sometimes, but you need to filter it out if you can, like give it a quick browse and use your logic rather than start to believe things like this. Maybe you do believe it. I don't know. I personally do not believe that Lamar is the problem. I don't think that the Ravens are sick of Lamar. I think that this has been a BS narrative. Lamar's quitting. Lamar's, he's faking injury, all that, man. People were saying Lamar was faking an injury right after the Chiefs game. Some of the biggest reporters and creators in the Ravens community were saying that Lamar was faking injuries. You guys had to be careful with this. And I'm definitely not saying that everything's perfect all the time behind the scenes, but I just don't think that Lamar is the problem. If he needs to get an extra hour of sleep or eat a little cleaner, these are things that he's probably getting talked to about. It's not a big deal. Everybody goes through that. I heard Tom Brady in an interview say he wasn't even taking care of his body and eating the right way until he was in his 30s. Like, sometimes in life, it just takes that way. I'm sure you're not eating the right way, and I know you're not a professional athlete with the franchise on your back, but I'm just saying it takes time sometimes in life to fine-tune everything. But to say Lamar is the problem and that the Ravens are done with him is ridiculous. Now, if the Ravens go and trade Lamar this offseason, I'll eat my words and I'll be pissed about it. But I do not think that this is true. This is the same source that had a hit piece out on Todd Monken with anonymous quotes earlier this season that I talked about. Be careful what you read. Be careful what you believe. If you come across it and it sounds like BS and your logic's saying that this ain't correct, it probably is not correct, man. Just keep pushing and keep consuming whatever you believe in and connect to. And if you don't let it get you emotional. Don't even spread the message. That's the goal, is to get you all riled up. Like, there is clickbait. There is every trick in the book to get more views, more clicks, to earn more revenue. That is the game online today, and it's kind of disgusting. I'm not going to lie. I think that we need to just get back to rocking with people that we rock with and who we connect with and who we believe and who you can trust, and it takes time to build trust. It takes probably years to build trust. But when someone's there every day, not pushing false narratives and lying, then over time you can build trust with that person or that reporter or that newspaper or media outlet or channel or whatever it is. Whoever you trust, use your own knowledge, man. We're all smart, okay? You know what's right. You know what feels wrong. If you do believe that Lamar is the issue, that's fine. I'm not saying that you're wrong. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but I know a hit piece when I see one, and I know somebody reaching for views, and I don't like it. Moving on to the Packers game this Saturday, this is an absolute must-win game. This is the real must-win game. It is officially over if the Ravens are not able to win in Green Bay on Saturday, and they really don't know who their quarterback's going to be, and we don't know who our quarterback's going to be. Jordan Love is still in the concussion protocol, and he is practicing, but he's still in the protocol, so he has to clear that first, and then Malik Willis would be the backup. He missed practice today due to an illness, so there's a lot of moving parts. Packers coach Matt LaFleur was asked what sense he has for who his team and the Ravens will have at quarterback Saturday night. He said, "I would say not good." LaFleur admits that's quite unusual to be on Thursday of game week and not know either way, but he's putting the best plan together regardless. This is a very odd situation. Both teams are in must-win mode, really. The Packers can't really afford a loss either. They have the Lions breathing down their neck, but they might not have their starting quarterback. They obviously lost Micah Parsons for the entire season, and now the Ravens don't know if they're going to have Lamar Jackson. I would say at this point, it's kind of unlikely that Lamar's going to play if he's missing back-to-back practices. But like Harbaugh said, Lamar's the guy who could play without practicing. But if he's still not able to even get in a limited practice in back-to-back days, there's really only a light probably walk through tomorrow, another practice tomorrow, and then they're going to be traveling for a short week for the game on Saturday. It's not likely that Lamar's going to go, although not impossible. So weird matchup, man. A very meaningful game for both teams, but very odd roster lineups that might be out there. It almost might feel a little bit like a preseason lineup, at least at quarterback, which is just not what you would think in Week 17 in a must-win game to keep your playoff hopes alive. It sucks that we don't have Lamar Jackson, although I do love Snoop Huntley, man. I've been critical that he's not as good as Lamar in operating a pass game, but he's our best option out there if we don't have Lamar. There's no doubt about it, and I trust that we can still get a win with Snoop Huntley, and I think that the Ravens are hopefully going to show a lot of fight and play with their backs against the wall because they have to, and they're going to need help from the Steelers on Sunday after that. If we get a win Saturday night in Green Bay, their playoff hopes are alive, but maybe only for about 12 hours because the Steelers play the Cleveland Browns, and if the Steelers beat the Browns, the Ravens season is officially over. If the Browns upset the Steelers and we win, we got a showdown in Pittsburgh in Week 18 to somehow make the playoffs, which would be absolutely insane. I'm still rooting for that, by the way. I know videos this week have been a little negative. I think we're all feeling a little emotional at how this season has went, but I'm still hoping that the Ravens go win a championship. It seems insanely unlikely. I've kept hope alive, and I've been optimistic throughout this entire season until it has just kept dwindling until where we're at right now. And like I said earlier, I'm near E, but until we're actually eliminated, I'm hoping we somehow get in, man. I'm hoping we go win a championship. I'm a Ravens fan first. I don't like the negativity. I want to be on here hyping up every dominant win we got, and I want to be talking about our favorite plays and going over the crazy stat lines that Lamar and Henry got and how our defense getting a bunch of turnover. Like, I want to be hyping up, man. I'm a Ravens fan. I want Super Bowls, and I hope it all somehow works out, but it definitely is looking unlikely at the moment, but we'll see how it plays out. We got to get that win Saturday night, and then the Steelers have to lose to the Browns, which may be more possible because DK Metcalf is officially suspended for the rest of the season, the regular season, and he will not play in that Week 18 game against the Ravens either, which if that ends up being for the AFC North, then that's massive. The Steelers losing DK Metcalf is not nothing. That is a big deal, and I don't know if it'll mean that they lose to the Browns, but if they did, We also are not playing DK Metcalf in week 18, so the Steelers are going to be short-handed, and anything's possible, man. The Browns can definitely upset Pittsburgh. The Ravens can definitely grind out a win Saturday night in Green Bay, but we'll see. Let me know what you guys are thinking about everything that we talked about today and just everything going on. I appreciate you guys so much, man. Merry Christmas. I hope you guys have an amazing day tomorrow with your family and loved ones, and appreciate you guys, as always, for tuning in to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll let the greatest linebacker in the history of the game take us out.
Ravens Flock. The Flock Rundown is the place to be. My man Ryan has been a lifelong Ravens fan since he was born. So I'm telling you now, it's about to go down. The podcast, the Flock Rundown. Ravens, baby. Nothing gets better than waking up and wondering how high we can fly. Tune in.